Aemeath has locked and loaded Fusion Flare into her kit, and she's using it to annihilate planets. The Sentinel Resonator will really score a place in your heart, just like her transparent heart container. Wait, is this Zelda? Oh, wrong game. From Changli to Brant, all the way to Lupa, and now Aemeath, the Fusion characters are always the hottest. But the difference between Aemeath and the other Fusion characters is that she's packing a whole lot more firepower. VoidEnigma Online, and in today's protocol, we will be covering a pre-analysis of subject Aemeath. We will be discussing her kit and how it functions, as well as going over her weapon options and potential teams. To conclude the report, we'll talk about how she fits in the current meta of Wuthering Waves and how she'll fit in the future. My name is VoidEnigma, and my excitement for Aemeath is reaching unprecedented levels. Nuclear levels, supernova levels, Big Bang levels, so make sure to like the video and subscribe to keep this flame ignited for this channel. And you'll also get more videos just like this one, so stay tuned. Aemeath is a unique character that can alter her form mid-combat. In fact, it's actually beneficial to swap between forms often, but we'll talk about that later. For the remainder of the video, I will be calling Aemeath Aemeath, and I'll be calling her mech Aemeath. Totally not confusing. Aemeath attacks in two distinct forms: mech form and Aemeath form. Her resonant skill will allow her to swap between her mech form and her human form. She is able to attack in unison with both forms by casting her resonant skill during the basic attack combo. Utilizing this joint combo will raise Aemeath's resonance rate. As Aemeath raises her forte gauge by performing attacks, she'll unlock the ability to cast her enhanced resonance skill, Seraphic Duo. Seraphic Duo is only castable when performing basic attack 4 in either Aemeath or Aemeath form, and casting it depletes her forte. The enhanced resonance skill will grant Aemeath 1 stack of response rate as well. Aemeath's Resonance Liberation is a large area of effect blast, and it's going to grant 1 stack of response rate, and unlocks the ability to activate her enhanced Resonance Liberation. Important note here though, if Aemeath performs an intro skill, her Resonance Liberation will grant more stacks of response rate. So it's actually vital to use her intro skill first before casting this Resonance Liberation. Once she has max stacks of response rate, she will enter into a new state, which will enhance her resonant skills. She's also able to activate her heavy attack, and Aemeath and Aemeath has 2 different unique heavy attacks, which normally have to be charged, but when she enters into this state, upon reaching 4 stacks of response rate, she can fire it up without charging it. Once she casts this unique heavy attack, she'll actually unlock her finale attack. Heavenfall Edict Finale, the most powerful move in her kit. Unleashing this powerful attack deals a gigantic nuke of area of effect fusion damage to every enemy present, literally world-destroying damage. This appears to be the most powerful portion of her kit, so I can imagine the high numbers players can achieve with this attack. Aemeath utilizes tune break and off-tune effects in order to have different things, but Aemeath actually has 2 different forms. One featuring area of effect damage with her rupturing tune break, and the other featuring fusion burst with the straining effects of tune break. We will be skipping over the fusion burst portion because I don't see a way that's actually quite useful at this time, but in the future, that'll definitely be a playstyle that she might prefer. For now, however, we'll be focusing on just the damage portions of her kit, and even during this portion, she still inflicts a reasonable amount of fusion flare. The only difference is the way that it activates. Her rotation is quite simple from what I surmise here. She'll be introed into where she will actually cast her Resonance Liberation, and then she'll follow up with chaining together her Resonance skill during her basic attack combo to her duet between Aemeath and Aemeath form, until her forte is filled, and finally casting Seraphic Duo to gain a stack of response rate, since she can continue chaining together duo attacks until she can cast Seraphic Duo again, which will get her 4 stacks of response rate. Once the resonance rate reaches the cap, she'll be able to cast her heavy attack, dealing significant damage because it's heavily buffed by one of her inherent skills, and finally this will unlock her final attack. She will nuke the world and outro to the next character. There are many ways to optimize this, and I believe she will be a great quick swap character, so you already know that I'm going to have content starring her in the future if that's the case. Other than that, her fusion burst form by using the tune strain effects, we'll talk about that in a later video since it's not quite a full team yet. You can do some funny things with Linné and Mornier, but we'll wait for the full guide to actually go over those tune flare effects. Now let's move on to the echo options and briefly discuss Aemeath's insane equipment. A mech's gotta stay sharp, and these echoes sharpen her skills. Aemeath's damage is considered resonance liberation damage, so that's what we're going to be looking for in her build. She takes the traditional main DPS route of crit rate for the main substat, fusion damage or attack for the elite pieces, and attack for the common pieces. Other than resonance liberation damage, energy regen is vital to ensure that her liberation comes up easily, and then focus on attack, and finally resonance liberation damage bonus. She will likely have a new echo set in version 3.1, as this update has about 3 or 4 different sets dropping, 2 to 3 I mean. So look out for a brand new set to build up Aemeath. That's all for her echoes. Now let's talk about weapons. And Aemeath's had some interesting choices, so let me prepare you to equip the primary form of destruction. Aemeath is the main carry, so the rules apply that it's expected for her to have her signature weapon. For Aemeath, this is especially the case since there's no other 5-star weapon that buffs resonance liberation damage. Her signature weapon, Everbright Polearm, is a phenomenal choice for Aemeath, offering defense ignore and fusion res ignore, as well as the standard 12% attribute damage bonus. Surprisingly, not a lot of text. Her best option, so we really don't even need to discuss anything further. Get the weapon if you can, and if you can't, then her next best choice is actually the Battle Pass weapon, Feather's Edge. At full refinements, that is. This weapon grants 23% attack alongside 34% liberation damage bonus. This will edge out our next option, but if you have low refinements, then stick with Emerald of Genesis, the standard 5-star weapon. Emerald of Genesis is an all-around decent option, offering some much needed energy regen alongside an attack bonus that she can achieve pretty easily because she casts her resonant skill quite often in fact. Among the other weapons though, they kind of fall short considering that they don't buff resonance liberation damage, but any 5-star weapon will actually be suitable as long as the substat is crit rate or crit damage. You can use any of the 5-star weapons that you have on your other characters. With her weapons depleted, now we need to form a platoon to ignite Aemeath's railgun. Let's move on to her best team options. Aemeath is an off-tune character, therefore she utilizes tune break mechanics, and quite often, so automatically, Mornier is one of her best in-slot partners, but beyond that, there exists a certain character that buffs resonance liberation damage to an insane degree with her outro. Linné. Linné is the best partner for Aemeath, and alongside Mornier, they complete the mecha duo. Each teammate will help complete tune strain effects, and then the buffs that they get from all of their mechanics will just stack right up. This team is going to be her best in slot for the time being, until we get more characters that actually focus on fusion flare. Next up, we have the Lupa Fusion team, featuring Aemeath instead of Changli, along with Brant or Mornier. While the comboing and buffs is going to be quite different, the way that we quick swap is fundamentally unique. This mono fusion team is solid and it works wonders. You can even use Mornier instead of Brant to offer more off-tune effects. Lupa will always be a viable option to any fusion character thanks to the myriad of powerful buffs that she has. Not only are these two teams solid, but Aemeath will inevitably get a fusion flare team as she's the first character to utilize this debuff. It's only a matter of time before other fusion flare characters get released for a full team similar to Cardathea, at least in theory. I'll have another video discussing further team options because a lot more exist for Aemeath. So if you want to dive more into the team, subscribe so you don't miss that video. Aemeath the mech is going to be a pivotal character in the future, just like Cardathea. She's going to be a character that many characters will come to love and use to clear all content that Wuthering Waves has to offer. She's going to come for our wallets, and these funds will turn into stardust. These are all facts, but at the end of the day, railgun go burr. I'll be releasing a rotation guide as well as more content featuring Aemeath. I might miss the actual guide, but I'll do my best to get it out there for you guys. This has been Void. Like the video, subscribe for more funny guide content, and stay real. Until next time, Enigma out.